Hey guys, my name's Hannah and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about A Cauldron and Feyre by Sarah J Maas. This is the second book in the trilogy, so I'm afraid I can't give too much away in regards of what the plot is about. All I can really say is you have to read this book. It was fantastic. The first book in the trilogy is A Cauldron and Roses by Sarah J Maas, and you guys, you just have to read it. Like, I'm serious. Once you've read the first book and the second one, come back, then we can talk. Until then, leave. Like, I'm serious. Go, because I don't want to be held responsible if you guys get spoiled. Really, the only thing I can say for the non-spoilery section is, oh my god, this book was going to kill me, and it did. So, we're headed into the spoiler section now, guys. Buckle in. I just want to say, like a heads up, I'm probably going to swear a bit because when I'm passionate about something, like I am with this book, a few F-bombs and a few B-bombs are going to drop, so forewarning. First off, I just want to talk about the map in A Court of Mist and Fury. So the map, you see, it's Ireland and the UK, and I really want to know if there's like a specific reasoning behind this map, because I keep seeing it and I'm like, why? Why? Why is Hybern Ireland? Why is like Perinthian everywhere else? Like, why? And do they have accents? Is the King of Hybern got like this Irish accent? But like the Night Court's in Scotland. So does Rhys have like this Scottish accent? I hope he does, cause the Scottish accent is just like... So I did read this book in May when it came out, and of course I loved it. I loved it. And I decided to reread it a couple days ago, so I was like, I'm gonna book talk it. And there are so many things that just made me feel so much more feels this time. Like, I am such Rhysand trash. It's not even funny. I think I let it on too. When the book starts, we start off in the spring court and Feyre's kind of like in denial, like, I'm fine, I'm handling it. It's good. But she's lying. That shit under the mountain fucked her up. And she's trying to be cool about it, but she can't. Like, shit's fucked up and she doesn't even realize it. She's literally convinced herself that this is okay, and that is so heartbreaking. She's trying to come to terms now about being Fae and everything that's happened under the mountain, and now she's getting married to Tamlin and everything's gonna be beautiful. But it is literally the worst situation she could be in, and it was so horrible. Sarah J Maas wrote this beautiful way of expressing her PTSD and how like Feyre literally can't sleep and she wakes herself up vomiting in the night and she's losing so much weight and no one's doing anything or noticing, and Feyre is just kind of there. She's not living, she's just existing. Tamlin's not letting her outside the house, and I was so mad at him. Like, Tamlin's like, you're this precious, delicate woman. Everyone loves you. You need to be a symbol of hope. Nothing can happen to you. Therefore, I need to shut you in this house for no one to see, and you just waste away, because that's a great idea. It's not. I'm quickly talk about Lucien. I don't know how to say his name. I don't know how to say anyone's names in these worlds. Sarah J Maas, please. I can only say Rowan's name, and even then I'm pretty sure I'm saying it wrong. In A Court of Thorns and Roses, that guy was my favorite character. Every time he walked in a room, I was like, yes, we're gonna have some good times. It's gonna be hilarious. We knew there was gonna be some witty things coming out. This time, I wanted to punch him in the face. Kind of really didn't like how Sarah J Maas had like warped his character a bit. I understood why she had done it, because Lucien literally has this undying loyalty to Tamlin, which is why he kind of just left Feyre in the room and just locked her in there. And I was so angry about that. Like, I really hope in the third book there are some redeeming qualities for him, because I really just want him to just do like a turnaround, and yeah. I couldn't believe that Tamlin just shut Feyre in the court. It was like, shut her in there and just like in the room and just wouldn't let her out. And that was heartbreaking. And Lucien just walked away and left her. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You dumbass. How can you do that to her? Like, Ianthe, don't give a shit what her name is, cause this bitch, we ain't even talking about her. I hate her that much. I can't wait for her to die. We get to that situation at the teeth, okay? I felt like this scene was just this great fuck you to Tamlin, where it's like Feyre is starting to slowly get her grounding, and when she's kind of like, no, I'm not gonna just let by and like just let things happen. She kind of was just like growing a little bit while she was locked in the spring court. And I just thought so cool how she was just like, went up to them and was like, hey, I don't need none of this bling. It's not important to me, because she's right, it's really not. And she gave it to the water water elves, which obviously really needed it. And that was a great move because it came to be so handy later on. Can we just talk about how like Tamlin kept trying to hunt Feyre down? Like, boy, get the signal. She doesn't want you anymore. Just leave. Like the fact that he literally fucks over all the Feylands just so he can have Feyre out. I'm like, are you fucking dumb? Like, I'm sorry. I don't care if this girl is one true love. You don't just throw away everything and betray everyone for one person. I'm sorry. Oh my god, the wedding. Holy god. I was imagining Feyre's wedding dress. I literally imagined like Amy Adams from Enchanted, like big puffy shit, and I was just like, back when Feyre's in her head going, someone get me out of here, someone get me out of here, I can't do this, I can't do this. I was like trying not to cry because I was like, oh my god, what if she gets married? What if she gets stuck with this pin, like there's nothing anyone can do? And then I was like waiting for Rhys to turn up. I was like, bitch, I'm waiting. Where you at? Come get my girl. And then he did. I kind of like imagined him just appearing between like Tamlin and Feyre and be like, hey boo, how you doing? And she was like, what are you doing here? But we all know that girl was like, so Rhysand takes Feyre from the Spring Court to the Night Court, and I was just like, oh, we're in the Night Court. I was so excited, couldn't believe it. And so many things are happening. We met Moore, Ezreal, Cassie, and Amryn, my new favorite people ever. I just love everyone at the Night Court. They're so beautiful. Like my children, like they're my new favorite gang. I haven't had like a good gang that I've loved dearly since the Infernal Devices. And I know a lot of people are gonna be like, Hannah, what about the Throne of Glass people? Don't get me wrong, I love them, but I haven't literally seen like wanting to hold them, hug them tight forever. I mean, I kind of did in Queen of Shadows because I was losing it. I was like, I can't breathe. Something happens to Dorian, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But that's another book talk for another time. Let's talk about Feyre's powers for a second. Like this girl, she's like Ash from Pokemon. Pokemon trainer, gotta catch them all. So she has all the powers from all the High Lords, from all the courts, because they brought her back to life. So she's just like Spider-Man going, pew, pew, pew. She's got them all. She's like the Avatar. She has them all, and she's kind of, I wouldn't say unstoppable, but she's pretty badass. Learning about how Tamlin's family killed Rhys's family, and how their families kind of just like were in a war in a sense, was so heartbreaking because Rhys had to just deal with Feyre just being with Tamlin, knowing they were sharing a bed, and that man killed his family and there was nothing he could do about it. It was just so heartbreaking to read, and you realize the fact he didn't want to interfere because he thought maybe Feyre does love Tamlin and he didn't want to break them up because as long as she was happy. But she wasn't happy and it wasn't okay, but now they're together and that's okay. Learning more about how Rhys was abused under the mountain with Amarantha for 50 years. Oh, I was like, my heart was just like beating the entire time he was telling Feyre about it. I felt sick, especially when it was Starfall, and he was like, this is the first time I've experienced Starfall in 50 years, and she's kind of like, why? And he's like, I was under the mountain all the time. Though no one else gets to see Starfall except for anyone else in the Night Court, everyone kind of knew about it, and Amarantha made sure, and in Rhys's words, that he always would service her the entire night. She knew how much it meant to Rhys, and that I just that really hit me. I was a bit that broke my heart into 1,000 million pieces, and the best way possible was Starfall. Oh my god. Like, because like they kind of like, they don't officially admit their feelings to each other, but that's like the first time that Feyre kind of like really opens up to him, and they kind of drop the snark and just kind of be themselves together. And I was like, I love that scene, especially when the stars fell down and he was like, you look like you've got little green freckles on your face, and I was like, oh. Feyre's like, do you want to dance with me? And he's like, yeah. He's like, even if I step on your toes? And he's like, even then. It was just like, not very good explaining this whole camp thing, but I just thought that was, in a way, not gonna lie, I know they're kind of being changed in a way, but to me it just reminded me of concentration camps, and I don't know if that was, and I really don't know if that was the intention, but to me I just felt like, wasn't into it. And the fact that they were all at camps in their like childhood time, and they got left in the mountain. They were like, hey, go find the other side. And the boys all found each other in the end. Cassie and Rhys and Ezreal, they all just kind of like, was like, they got separated on purpose, and then they all just kind of like found each other and were like, you can't separate brothers. Again, forgotten another bit to talk about, but Tarquin at, what is it, the Summer Court? Oh, I like Tarquin. I knew he was gonna, obviously he was gonna like, there's something was gonna happen and then fuck it all up. But I like Tarquin. The fact that he ended up sending them blood rubies to, what is it, Amber, Rhysand and Feyre as a kind of like, I'm gonna fucking get you. I feel like that's gonna be so important in the next book. I feel like that's just gonna come into play and influence some shit that's gonna happen. And oh my god, what if Tarquin sends someone to go kill them and they get the wrong person thinking it's like Feyre, but they kill, oh my god, what if they kill like Nesta or Elaine thinking it's Feyre? Ah, bad idea. We didn't think of that, never mind. Let's talk about how Feyre has to go back to the human world, has to talk to Elaine and Nesta, and how she's basically saying, look, your village is gonna be under attack. We gotta get some shit done. This time I feel like I have a really good understanding of who she is and why she's like that. She just wants to protect her family. But the fact that she becomes a thing she hates the most is just so sad. But like, I really love Nesta. I just think she was so fierce, and I understand like why she's a horrible character and many people hate her, but I love her. I felt like she was so fierce and just really strong. She wasn't kind of scared by them. These creatures around her are like the most powerful creatures ever, and she's like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. But you know, they're cool. Nesta's like, fine, you can bring the queens here. And I can tell you from the beginning, I did not trust those queens one bit at all. No siree, nah-uh. As soon as we mentioned some queens, I was like, well, shit, this isn't gonna go well. The fact that they want to give them the other half of the book, and Nesta's like, give my sister the book. And they're like, nah, give my sister the book. Nah, give my sister the book. No. Nesta's like, you have to protect our village isn't gonna be safe. And they're like, you win some, you lose some. The other guns we kinda lose. And she's like, are you for real now? They were just gonna let the village go boom in flames. And that's when I was like, these are some sick bitches right here. So let's fast forward a bit. Let's fast forward to where Rhys got shot. I was just like, come again? You don't just shoot Rhysand, High Lord of the Night Court. I'm sorry, like why? We have that whole debacle and Feyre has to go find the cereal to like save him. And then the cereal's like, he's your mate. She's like, what? No, I think you're mistaken. And he's like, no, I'm pretty sure he's your mate. And she's like, are you for real? And then we have this whole thing and she's like, no. And then she goes up to Rhys and she's like, why didn't you tell me? And he's like, I'm dying. Why didn't you tell me? He's like, again, I am dying. She heals him and then she finds more. She's like, get me out of here. They go up to like a little cabin in the mountains and Moore leaves her and doesn't tell Rhysand where she is, and she's painting everyone. She's painting everyone's eyes except Rhysand's. And then Rhys turns up and she's like, do you want me to cook you something? He's like, you cook me something? She goes, heat me something up. And then we find out later that cooking something means like accepting the bond. And I was like, what? Cooking? Okay. But I love how she was like so specific, like, no, I'm heating you something up. You think I cook? And I was like, stand girl. Okay. So when Rhys is telling Feyre about the whole mating bond, and I was in tears at this point. I was just hysterically crying. And then that bit where he goes, then she snapped your neck and I felt you die. Ah! I mean, when they finally do the deed, I was glad I waited that long because I was kind of like, come on guys. I thought it was going to happen when we were in the inn. I was like, yes, finally. And then it didn't happen. I was like, okay. But then it finally happened when they were like, yeah, we're mates. And that was beautiful. And okay, so I'm really glad in the morning they kind of like addressed the fact that she could be pregnant, because there's so many books, and I know this book isn't YA, but there's so many books that I read where they have sex and they don't address contraceptives. I'm just like, you could be pregnant. Just saying. And I know children are really rare. You still could be pregnant. And finally we're like, you know what guys, we're going to Hybern. We're gonna get this cauldron. We're gonna get shit done. Let's go team. So they go to Hybern. Can we talk about how Feyre was told many, many times by Amber, Feyre, don't put the books together. I'm not gonna put the books together. I'm serious, don't put the books together. It's not gonna be good. I'm not gonna put the books together. It's fine. You know what she does? She puts the books together. Do you know why that girl put the books together? Because the Cauldron told her to. And maybe that's why things shit hit the fan in that last book when I was crying hysterically like my children are all going to die and there's nothing I can do about it. Anyway, we're in Hybern and well shit, things got fucked up real quick there, didn't they guys? It was I was just reading it like,
fucking kidding me?
so we get there. Guess what bitch walks out of the shadows? It's Tamlin! And I'm serious. When he walked out of the shadows with Lucien, I threw the book across the room. I started screaming. I didn't actually throw the book across the room because I was on a bus. I was just kind of like, ah! But in my head, you know. When Tamlin and Lucien turned up, I was like, well, fuck this shit, I'm out. Hey, fuck this shit, I'm out. Hey. And then guess who else turns up? Fucking Nesta and Elaine. And they got shoved into the Cauldron. Now, when Elaine went down, I was like, she ain't gonna survive. That girl's a little girl. She ain't gonna survive. She survived. She came out and Feyre was just like, oh my god. And then Nesta goes in. Completely different experience. Nesta goes in kicking and screaming. She literally goes in. She's like... So Nesta and Elaine are Fae now. Kind of was like, why are they both Fae? Kind of didn't want everyone to be Fae. But I'm not mad at it because they're going to both be badass in the next book. I'm just wondering because they were also made, but not in the same way Feyre was. If shit's gonna backfire, if there's like, kind of like we know in those horror movies and the experimentation goes wrong and it mutates and they get really sick or go crazy, I'm really worried that's gonna happen because I don't want that to happen. The fact that Tamlin's like, yeah, I'm here to get you, he's gonna give you to me, and in exchange I just betrayed like everyone ever, it's not a problem. And Feyre's like, you fucking kidding me? What the hell is wrong with you? Feyre is communicating with Rhys, going and breaking the wards and like, going get them out, and he's just stone-faced like, basically, Feyre leaves with Tamlin, like going, I love you, and everyone just like, this shit did not happen. I'm crying at this point going, I did not go through all of this for it just to be a lie. At the night court, and everyone's freaking out going, we have to go get her, and Rhys is like, ah, it's fine, don't worry about it, she'll be fine. And they're like, are you fucking serious? Your mate is in the spring court with a psycho. He's like, hey guys, don't worry, I got married last night. She's now the high lady of the night court. She's fine. And they're like, what did you say? Seriously? And now we're back at the spring court and Tamlin's just like, oh babe, how you been? Like, I love you. And everyone's just like, oh lol, no. And Lucien's just like, knowing what Feyre is up to, is like, you dumb shit, we're all gonna die. But he's not gonna say anything if he wants to see Elaine again, so he's just like... And the last line in the book, and so Tamlin unwittingly led the High Lady of the Night Court into the heart of his territory. I just was like, yes, yes. I just want to say, I love this book so much. It was fantastic. I'm literally still in a book hangover. I'm such face and trash. I want the next book so badly. I would love some insight into why the map is the way it is. I just, so many questions. Must know right now. Last year I was so fortunate I got to meet Sarah J Maas when she visited New Zealand, and I remember like being, not like in love with Tamlin, but I was like, yeah, it's pretty cool. And I went up to her and I was like, oh my god, I love Tamlin so much, he's amazing. She kind of just looked at me and was like, yep. Her face just kind of like dropped and was like, oh honey, now I understand why. That is all for today's book talk. I hope you guys enjoyed it and understood my awkward rambling, and just sorry for the swearing. I just so passionate about this book, so passionate. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, subscribe, and all that jazz. I'll see you next time.